Today on Privacy X, we're going to talk about 5 cryptocurrencies. In fact, the only 5 cryptocurrencies that I would recommend anybody purchase, or the 5 that you could potentially look at owning. Now, crypto is in a massive boom, but like all things, when you're in a boom, a lot of people are going to be left holding the bag. And so everyone thinks that it's going to go up, up, up to the moon. It's just simply not true. Most cryptocurrencies have to fail for a few to succeed. And now that the government is getting in and looking at regulating, the SEC, it's going to change a lot over the next couple of years in the crypto space. Which ones am I investing in and what do I recommend? I get this question constantly, so we're going to break it down in Operation Top 5 Crypto. Let me know your list down below. The great thing about crypto is keeping your list secret really doesn't benefit you, right? The more people who buy something, kind of like a Dogecoin, the better people are. Now, Dogecoin is not in my top 5, but it is interesting to see. It's kind of like, Dogecoin is kind of like a big FU to the man, right? But definitely not Dogecoin, but we're gonna talk about the top 5. Let me know your list down below if you agree with my list or you have different coins you're popping on. If you think some of these you would never invest in or you're up to your eyeballs in some of these coins, let me know. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Put out new videos every single day, literally every single day. So number 1 is Chainlink. Now, I got into Chainlink when it was roughly $7 or $8. It has grown exponentially recently, but it still is massively undervalued. High-speed contracts. The thing I like about Chainlink is it is just a very solid project. Now, a lot of you are probably familiar with Ethereum, and that is, it's kind of tied in. And so it is a valuable, solid project that is kind of slow growing. It's kind of like a valuable startup is the way I see Chainlink. Now, is it something I'm going to invest in long term? No, I think it's going to dilute long term. And it is something that I would use? No, because Chainlink is not a privacy coin, or it's not something that I would recommend using. It's not a currency. I see Chainlink as a short-term investment, but it is a great option in my opinion. And it's had a lot of legs, and I think it's going to keep going up. Some people are thinking $100 Chainlink is possible. I guess we'll see. There really is no telling, but we'll see where Chainlink goes. But I highly recommend looking into Chainlink. Obviously, do your own due diligence before you purchase cryptocurrency because, again, like I stated, most people are going to lose. I know there's this big boom and everyone thinks they're going to make $1 zillion. You're not. Most people are going to go broke who buy cryptocurrency, buy the wrong one. And just by nature, most of these coins have to fail for a couple to succeed. So keep that in mind before you buy anything. Do your due diligence, your research, and get professional advice if you need it. The next one I want to talk about is one of my all-time favorites, but it has gone down a few places on my list, and that's XRP by Ripple. Now, XRP is very practical. One of the fundamental problems with XRP is it's just so big, right? Unlike a lot of other cryptos, the supply of XRP is massive. I mean, it is just insanely massive. And that's what keeps the price down. Now, I started recommending XRP about 6 months ago, and XRP has about 5x'd in price. In fact, I get emails and texts all the time from people who are saying they bought XRP based on some of my previous videos, and they've made thousands of dollars because it is literally 5x'd since I made those videos. Actually more, about 5.5x. So if you got in back when I was talking about it, and I got in a little cheaper than that. So, for every 1,000 you put in, you would make like over 5, which is incredible. And people are still making a lot of money with XRP. So the money is there. The cost per is incredibly low because, again, the supply is so big and the value's there. XRP is just so fast. That's what it does. Settlement fast. I mean, Bitcoin, XRP could do in about 4 seconds what it would take Bitcoin to do like an hour, right? It's just transaction speed. It just ties in great with financial institutions, what we need long term. Now, a lot of you have seen XRP get deplatformed off Coinbase and a bunch of other places who used to sell and allow XRP to be tradable. A lot of these different exchanges have deplatformed XRP, Ripple's project, and so keep that in mind. I like to use things like Ledger and hardware wallets, and there's a lot of other places you can still keep it. Obviously, it's still trading. In fact, it's almost up 100% since it was deplatformed. It's almost doubled in price again. So really, that hasn't slowed the growth. Now, but XRP is very volatile, so keep that in mind. The next one I want to talk about is Zcash. Zcash is interesting. Now, Zcash is not a privacy coin. A lot of people confuse Zcash with privacy coin. Not even close. Zcash is the kind of privacy coin the government wants, right? It's you got privacy option and a non-privacy option, but Zcash is very traceable It is not very good for privacy, but it's got legs, and I think it is an interesting project. It is not as private as I would like it to be, but it definitely has legs. It's got popularity. Right now it's trading at a pretty solid price point, and I think the future for Zcash is pretty incredible. Where it's gonna go from here, we're gonna see. That's probably the one I'm the most unsure about on this entire list is Zcash. They do come in the middle. I'm really curious to see where Zcash goes. I think eitherwise it's gonna go up to a couple thousand or it's gonna crash, because it's really gotta gain some faith. The privacy community is not getting too far behind Zcash because it's not as private of a coin. In fact, I would probably pick Bitcoin over Zcash, to be honest with you, but it is an option. So Zcash, I recommend checking it out. It is definitely touted often as a privacy coin. Is it great as an investment? I don't think so. I don't think it's stable enough. And the problem with a lot of these cryptos is they're not stable enough. Something like Chainlink, you could see the features. Even something like XRP, you could see the feature and the use and the investability, if you will. But I make up my own words on, my channel, my words. So, but the reality is, when you look at something like Zcash, it's kind of so-so. But I think they're heading in the right direction, and the possibilities are pretty promising, which is why they're on my list and why I've been investing a small percent of my portfolio in Zcash. Next one I want to talk about is Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is going to take it. Bitcoin is going to get knocked out by a Mike Tyson size punch here pretty soon. A lot of people are saying Bitcoin to the moon, Bitcoin 100,000, Bitcoin 100 million, Bitcoin 100 trillion. Guys, no, it's not. The thing with Bitcoin is it is, it's the OG. It's been around forever. It's got the history. It's got the love story behind it. Just these weird crypto things. People buying a pizza with a Bitcoin. So Bitcoin just tells the story well. You can romanticize crypto through Bitcoin and these early adopters in the early days and the crypto miners and all this stuff. The wild, wild west pioneers, Mount Gogs, and you go through this whole thing, right? Reality is Bitcoin is just not, it's just not. It'll probably be around for a while, but we're gonna see some more big drops, big spikes, big drops. The thing with Bitcoin's supply and the popularity and how expensive it is some of these big investors can actually control a sizable amount of Bitcoin, and it would only take a couple of dumps to really leave some regular civilians holding a big bag. And so for most of you, unless you have money to lose, I wouldn't invest going too crazy in Bitcoin. If you want to buy some, go for it. I mean, it's gone up a lot, but again, people are weird. It's gone up a lot with the stimulus and the things that have been happening. People have been pumping money, and people act like Bitcoin is like a guaranteed way to double it's just not. And you're going to see soon, there's already been some hedge funds that have been talking about dumping it, and if they do, Bitcoin will go from where it is now to half or a third, like that, just like it did last time. And it went from 20,000, it got down to like 4,000, and it's just because this is, with the supply, it is a lot easier to control by some big investors than something like XRP that has an unbelievable supply. But XRP's price per is going to be a lot smaller, so it's going to be more volatile and it's going to be more unstable. Bitcoin is an interesting option, and again, it's the one that everyone romanticizes, and so if you want to get Bitcoin, get it. I don't think it's going to go to the moon, but I think it will keep going up. I could see 100,000 Bitcoin, but I could also see 5,000 Bitcoin here real soon. As things change, as the government gets involved, as soon as regulations happen, people have already pulled out money they've invested in the next technology. Bitcoin is the flavor of the week, but as new technologies come with AI and things like Neuralink and so many things are changing, people are going to take that amount of money and they're just going to move it here. The thing with Bitcoin that is appealing to some people is the average person can invest, right? It's a lot harder for the average person to invest in a startup. You can use AngelList and things like that, but that doesn't really have any gratification. You might have 7 to 10 years for an IPO and you may make money, you may not. Bitcoin, second by second, you could see it's like this dopamine rush for people. It's like a drug, honestly, for people, which is what makes Bitcoin so appealing. But make no mistake, the big investors control the bulk of it, and if they decide to move their money from here to the next technology, Bitcoin's going to crash, and the average citizen's not going to be able to keep it up. Now, I don't think it's going to go to zero, and I don't think we're going to lose Bitcoin altogether unless the government plays too big of a hand. But we'll see where it goes. The last one, and I think surprise to nobody's Monero. Monero is by far and away the best cryptocurrency just because of the privacy. The built-in, out-of-the-box privacy is incredible. Monero is what every single cryptocurrency should be. Now, keep in mind, if you ever buy a cryptocurrency on an exchange, those are about as public gets. Kind of like Bitcoin. Bitcoin, if you can keep your wallet private, 100% private, then Bitcoin are on the blockchain and you can track them, but provided your wallet is private, then, which is just a bunch of alphanumeric characters, then you're in a decent place. But for most people, that's not an option. If you use any of these major exchanges, it's not an option at all because your identity is tracked on every single one. So the irony of most cryptocurrencies is it is tracked like 5 times more than the average bank transaction. But people act like there's some wild, wild west, Jesse James, outlaw, Billy the Kid. No, you're really just tracked 10 times more severely than if you were just use your debit card. So keep that in mind. Monero is the only one out of the box that has real privacy features built in. It's the one that I highly recommend. It is massively undervalued, but between the last Monero video and this one, it has gone up, I think, like $80 per coin. So, I mean, it has just been going straight up because people are starting to see the value of having a privacy coin over things like Bitcoin or even all the coins on this list, XRP, Chainlink, Zcash, even Zcash claims to be private. They're really not. All these coins are not private and you lose a lot. I mean, cash is better than most of these coins. They don't have the fungibility that Monero has built in. Monero is the privacy standard for crypto, and it's what all crypto should aspire to be out of the box. So that's my list. Let me know your list down below. Let me know if you have different coins you think you would be invested in. What is your top 5? Do you have a better top 5 than mine? Do you have some coins you think are going to blow up? Do you think my list sucks? Let me know down below. Have an amazing day, guys. Take action in your business and in your life every single day. Also, keep your privacy if you're using, cryptocurrency because most of it is tracking you. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.